Hey, hello everyone, my name is Chris and welcome back to another game review. Today I'm gonna be reviewing Terminator Resistance, and as usual I'm quickly gonna go through the story of this game to tell you in short what the game is all about. Then I'm gonna share my opinions and thoughts about this game, so in case you didn't play it, one big spoiler alert across the screen. And yeah, just click away from this video and come back after you play a game if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to, it's totally okay. But if you really are interested right now in my opinions and thoughts about this game, then stay with me till the end of this video and let's get started. Alright guys, so Terminator Resistance, it's a first-person action shooter released at the end of 2019. It's been developed by Tion Studios and it's been developed in Unreal Engine. The story of Terminator Resistance takes place in future where humans are in war with machines, and we play as Jacob Rivers, the main protagonist and main character in Terminator Resistance. He was part of Pacific Division that was wiped out by unknown type of a Terminator. Even Jacob himself doesn't know what that was, and since now he's the only one who survived that attack, he decides to go and look for South Division and Commander Baron, which is the leader of South Division. On his way to South Division, he gets attacked by Terminators, which is actually what happens at the beginning of the game, and he gets rescued by this so-called stranger. So this stranger helps you through the entire game, guides you, provides you with all the information and everything, and till the very end of the game you don't know who that stranger is or whatever. On his way to meet Commander Baron and join South Division, Jacob meets many other survivors, and with some of them you can develop emotional relationship. I'm gonna talk about that later in the gameplay of this game. So when Jacob reaches South Division and finds Commander Baron, he decides to join them and fight Terminators and Skynet, which is what he does, and he's placed in this so-called TechCom unit. Since he joined the South Division, he now has to do many different tasks and complete many different missions for Baron, all with one goal, and that is to destroy Skynet once and forever. And as the game goes on, you eventually meet John Connor, the main resistance leader. If you watched any Terminator movie, then you're probably gonna know what this is all about. So once you find John Connor, he puts you in the charge of leading the main assault against Skynet. You destroy Skynet, but unfortunately Skynet, just before it was destroyed, sent some Terminators back in past to hunt him as a kid down, John Connor, and kill him, and many other people that are going to be important later in the future and in fight against Terminators. And that's where many movies take place. So Terminator Resistance is going on in the future where machines are in war with humans and humans with machines. And what was really interesting in this story to me is that you finally, in the end, get to find out who the stranger was, and you actually realize that was Jacob this entire time. So he was helping himself. So he used time machine to go back to the past, and so he can guide himself and protect himself from the Terminators. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire story of this game. Altogether, it's one very simple and not very special story, but in the same time, the way this game decided to tell you this story, the interactivity with characters is just on the next level, and it's phenomenal. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that part of the game, so I love the way they decided to tell you the Terminator story through the gameplay that I'm going to talk about now. So I think the story was very well thought out. The design of game telling you a story was well thought out, and I enjoyed it. Alright, since I'm now done talking about this game's story, let's talk about its main thing, and that's gameplay. So the first thing you're gonna notice when you start playing Terminator Resistance is how cheap this game looks. So graphically, this game looks like it's from early 2000s. Animations are fucking terrible. Effects are fucking terrible. Absolutely doesn't look like a game from 2019. That's for sure. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So if you can't stand like bad graphics and really poor animations and effects and all that kind of stuff, just don't bother playing this game, because entire game is like that, and it's just how this game is. And in my opinion, I enjoyed it. It was really good. No matter how bad graphics and animations and sound effects and everything in this game was, how cheap it was, I still enjoyed this game a lot. The reason for that is because in one moment it really did reminded me of Fallout 3. For example, in this game you can lockpick stuff, doors, car trunks and stuff like that, and lockpicking system is exactly the same as it is in Fallout 3. The animations are same, and everything really did reminded me of Fallout 3. That lockpicking system was so much fun. It really is classical lockpicking system where you click lockpick and then lock is showed on your screen, and you have to move with your mouse and A and D letters on your keyboard to lockpick the lock. Then in the second moment, it reminded me a lot of Metro series. Probably now gonna ask me why it reminded me of Metro series. Well, because of its map design. This game is a linear first-person shooter, and it has linear world, and when you go from one area to another, you always get to explore that area you're in. So this is not an open world game. Again, it's a linear game with big areas to explore. So you can go around, complete side quests that other characters gave you. You can talk to other characters, and then they're gonna mention some stuff from their lives, and when you get to that area, you visit the places they told you to visit to bring them something they left over there when they were running from Terminators and stuff like that. So the interaction with characters is so good. It's phenomenal. I totally enjoyed it. I love how you can answer the questions to the characters, and you can ask them questions. You can ask them to open up about their stories. Every single character in this game has its own story, and you can explore it really deeply. You can connect with the characters. You can do good things. You can decide to say shitty things to them, or you can decide to say nice things to them. And if you say nice things to them, on your left side of the screen, a little heart icon will pop up, and it will say that that character appreciated what you said, which means that you are making the good connection with that character. It's very fun. Interaction with characters is very well done. I just love that type of a design. It's something I always appreciated in those classic video games. Like I said, you can also go and explore the environment. Every time you are in one area completing a mission, you again have these side quests, and you can go to these side quests in that area, complete them, which will then give you experience, which will level you up, which will give you skill points, so you can upgrade your skills for lockpicking, for combat, for weapons, for stealth. Yes, you heard me right, this game even has stealth, but it's kind of limited, because the only stealth way to kill Terminators is with the Terminator knife. You need to sneak up behind them and just stab him with a Terminator knife, and that's an insta-kill. Stealth is kind of challenging, I'm gonna tell you right now. This game doesn't have like some special stealth mechanics. It's really old school stealth mechanics. You have to hide behind the walls. You do have, for example, noisemakers that you can throw and make Terminators and robots go that way and check them out. You can sneak past by them when you're stealthing, or you can decide to go guns blazing or just stealth kill them. It's the gameplay is creative. At some points, at many points in every area, you're gonna start unnoticed. So the game gives you the chance to choose your approachment. You can go guns blazing, or you can go stealth. You can sneak by these Terminators and robots. You can explore the environment, like I said. You have to loot for resources, crafting materials, ammo, all kind of stuff. Then you can use crafting tables in these safe houses. You can save your progress, your game, on the little computer inside the safe house. Once you interact with the crafting table, you can craft lockpicks, ammo, pipe bombs, all kind of stuff. So it does remind me from that side about Metro series, because that's exactly how recent Metro Exodus and other Metro games are. So it did have those Metro vibes. Combat again, it does feel smooth, but in the same time, like everything else, like all the animations and graphical design, it looks and feels cheap. Guns don't really have any recoil. You can literally just spray entire magazine into a Terminator with barely any recoil. So the animations and effects are really, again, cheap. The very ugly and bad side of this game is that it costs 40 fucking euros on Steam, guys. This game is absolutely not worth that money. Even though I enjoyed this game for what it was, I still think that there are a bunch of lunatics. I mean, they didn't work that much on animations, obviously, because they're terrible. They didn't work on graphical design, that is also terrible for a game in 2019. And for many people, a game like this today is just totally unacceptable. And putting the 40 euros price on that is just, that's crazy. We're talking about crazy level here. So yeah, this game definitely does have good and bad sides. Definitely, it's just from person to person whether they're gonna like it or not, and that's all. But once you get used to that, I guarantee you're gonna have a lot of fun. So don't judge this game, but its graphics and its animations and stuff, it's not really all in that. This game is amazing from the storytelling and the way you can interact with characters and that tell you the story. The way game tells you the story, that's probably the most impressive part of this game to me. Also, I liked the design of the environment, even though it looks cheap and everything. I love that apocalyptical, ruined world, and the enemies are also very different. There are many different types of enemies. Some are stronger, some are weaker. You have those tiny little robots, and you have spider robots, and you have armored spider robots. Then you have Terminators with 2 plasma guns. Then you have Terminators with 1 plasma gun. You have these big T-47 robots that are pretty hard to kill with a gun. You have to use a rocket launcher for them. It's probably the best way to kill them. Also, you can upgrade your weapons. You can trade weapons at the trader. So this game does have some slightly tiny RPG elements. You can upgrade your plasma weapons with chips that you collect from Terminators. You can expand the clip size on your plasma gun, the damage, the stability. Even though this game doesn't have, like I said, any recoil on the gun, so that's kind of ironic. But okay, the option is there, so you can do that. Also, while moving through this linear world, you can encounter many different Skynet outposts that you can again destroy and then get experiences for that to level up faster. The world is pretty interactive for such a cheap looking game, and the gameplay, it does feel smooth. I liked it, but again, in the same time, it's really cheap, and graphical design is very cheap, which might really stab some players in the eyes. But to me, it was okay. I really enjoyed it 100%, and for what it was. So I don't know, it was a good game to me. Also, you can use your hacking ability to hack turrets, to hack doors, or you can, if you, for example, don't have hacking skill high enough, you can find an alternative way to the outpost or some area by breaking the wall with a pipe bomb. You can also break containers with the pipe bombs that contain trader resources that you can pick up and then later trade at a trader. You can trade stuff with a trader. You can buy stuff from him, guns, ammo, everything, chipsets, whatever he has to offer. You can also offer him in the trade for money, and it's just the classical game. It really does feel like a game from early 2000s, and I really felt happy when I finished this game. I felt like, damn, I just played one really classical looking game. No matter how cheap it looks, no matter how cheap the graphical design is, this game does know how to build the atmosphere with great soundtracks. Soundtracks were absolutely phenomenal. Atmosphere, I remember there's a part when you sneak from Terminators. When you exit the hospital, there is a bunch of Terminators coming your way, and you can use your like night vision goggles that can see through the wall, so you can see your enemy through the wall, but then you can't run or shoot or whatever. They are just used for detecting the enemy through the wall, which is okay, because in that case you would be like OP, you would be unstoppable, just running, and there's like seeing all the enemies through the wall and stuff. And they are intended for stealth, so you can hide from the Terminators and stuff like that. So this game, in the same time, however terrible the graphical design is and how terrible animations are and how cheap everything looks, from the other side, in the same time, it's great, and you can enjoy it for what it is if you just let yourself. Now, it really does depend from person to person, but to me, it was one very well done game with really classical gameplay, and I'm glad that I get a chance to play classical looking game with classical gameplay and all that kind of stuff in 2019. It was released in 2019, but it feels like it's been released in the early 2000s. So yeah, I think this game's gameplay, however terrible it was great from the other side in the same time. Alright, now for the end, let's talk about Terminator Resistance graphical design, visual design, whatever you want to call it. What you're seeing this on the screen right now is the gameplay I recorded, and these are all maxed out settings. It can go higher than this, and as you can see, it looks very fucking cheap, and the graphical design is absolutely fucking terrible. Game doesn't look like 2019 game at all. It looks like a game from early 2000s again. I ran this game on 1680 by 1050 resolution, because that's my monitor resolution, on all ultra settings. 60 FPS without any problems, of course. For such a cheap looking game, you can run this game on pretty much any PC, which is a good thing in the same time for some people maybe. So these are my PC specs. My GPU is RX 560, 4GB DDR5. My CPU is AMD FX 8320, 3.5 GHz octa-core Black Edition, and I got 16GB of RAM, Kingston Fury Black Edition DDR5. So yeah, my PC could run this game on all ultra settings, 60 FPS, even more, without any problems. So like I said, you can run this game on any PC pretty much. Also, the optimization of the game is totally okay. There is no any bugs or glitches or whatever. So from that side, the game is perfectly optimized and it works completely okay. But if you let yourself enjoy this game for what it is, if you are a fan of those classical shooters, if you are a fan of maybe Fallout 3 and games like that, I'm pretty sure you're gonna enjoy this game. It's gonna remind you of Fallout 3 and games alike a lot. So I think this is one very good game. I enjoyed it. I don't think that graphics make game. In my opinion, story and gameplay is what makes game. Story comes always at the first place to me, then gameplay, and then graphics. That's how I see it. And the story of this game, like I said, it's nothing special, but in the same time, the way the game tells you the story and the interactivity with characters and their stories is just fucking amazing. I enjoyed it a lot. Gameplay, again, from one side it's terrible, from the other side it's again fucking amazing and very enjoyable if you let yourself enjoy it for what it is. And the graphical design is what it is. You can't do anything about that. But I don't think it looks that terrible. I think it's acceptable and it's okay, you know. It's Terminator game. Come on, well, what else would you want? So yeah, guys, that's it for this game review. I think I said everything I wanted about Terminator Resistance. Let me know down below in the comments what are your opinions and thoughts about this game. And if you enjoyed this game review, I almost said movie review. Anyways, if you enjoyed this game review, then go ahead and leave a like, share, comment, or subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can also join my Chris Facebook group. I post all kind of stuff over there. And you can also leave any questions on my ads.fm. If you have any questions, I'll answer to them as soon as I see them. And yeah, guys, I love you, and I'll definitely see you in the next videos. Chris out.